You can't have your cake and eat it too. How many times has somebody in your life told you that? Well, yep, if you got a birthday cake and you get a piece of birthday cake and you eat that piece of birthday cake, yep, you cannot have that same exact piece of birthday cake again, right? Of course not. And this is just an interesting saying, and it actually came about in the 1540s, sometime in the 1540s, which goes to show us how deep-seated our sense of lack and scarcity is as a society and as human beings. We are so conditioned to believe that there's only one piece of cake, there's only one little pie, there's only so much, and we have to scratch and claw and fight and be competitive and lie and cheat and do whatever it takes to get our piece of the pie or our piece of the cake. And that is such a crock. It is so untrue. It presupposes that there's only two choices. You can either keep your cake and save your cake for a rainy day or whatever and not spend it and save it, and so you always have it and hoard it, or you can enjoy your cake and eat your cake and get immediate gratification from eating your cake. You can transition that cake to energy. But it's so not true. It is such a lie that so many of us believe that I have to choose either this or that. I only have two alternatives. I either have to stay at work for this job or start my own business. I have to build my own dream, or I have to be building someone else's. That's not true. There aren't only the two alternatives. There's infinite possibilities of, and you know, shades of gray in the middle of what I am or am not going to do. And they, you know, we've got this deep-seated belief about all types of resources, but especially about money, that if I spend my money on this, I can't spend my money on that. But that assumes that we can never get more money. We can never get more resources. And is that true? No. Almost nobody starts their own business with all their own money, their own resources, because we don't have it. We have to learn how to get resourceful and find the resources that we need to do the things that we want. We're not born with any resources, right? We're born with our being and our brain and our ideas and our ability to be resourceful. But there's infinite possibilities. There's infinite ways of being resourceful. We don't just have one choice or another. Now, people will probably argue with me, well, I only have so much time. I would argue, do you? Do you only have so much time? Or is that just another thing that we believe? Is time real, or is time made up? Is money real, or is money made up? Are most resources real or made up? And are they really, really limited? Is it really impossible to not get more of just about any resource you can imagine? Or is it impossible to think of an alternate way of doing or achieving or figuring out or problem solving using a different type of resources? We so often limit our ability and our choices, thinking that we have to choose this or that. I either have to build my business and sacrifice time with my friends, or I won't get what I want. Really? Who said that? One of the coolest things about having our own business is we can have our cake and eat it too, because we get to create the rules and the way things work for us, our business, and our life. Why would we set up the rules for us to fail? We wouldn't. Well, we do it all the time. Business owners do it all the time because we believe other people's rules, other people's guidelines, other people's ways of doing things are the only way to do it. Well, this is how we've always done it. It's one of my most dreaded sayings in corporate America, because I was always a change agent for the businesses and the companies that I work for and for my own companies. So when somebody would say, well, that's just the way we've always done it, I would just cringe inside, usually on the outside too, because I'm not that good at hiding my feelings, but on the inside for sure, because that told me that they were locked in their ways and locked in their way of believing something. And my job to help them to change and see other alternatives and other perspectives was just going to be a little bit harder. Didn't mean I wasn't going to make it happen. It just meant it was going to be a little more challenging. And me, I always love a challenge because I know that anything is possible. There's infinite possibilities, and mostly it's just we have to change our mind and open up and be flexible and willing to see things from a different angle, a different perspective. Sometimes and often it takes us a jolt in our life or in our experiences for us to actually look at things differently, because it's easier as human beings to just always think of things, always do the same thing, always just create habits and systems so that we can filter out all the things and all the noise that would otherwise overwhelm us. So I get why we do it as human beings, but I will tell you, one of the biggest strategic advantages you can have for yourself and your company to supersize and grow is to be open-minded and flexible and realize that anything is possible if you're willing to look for the answers, and looking beyond the this or that mentality is the fastest, easiest way to do that. Because I believe you can have your cake and eat it too, because there's always more cake. You can spend your money on whatever you want because you can always get more money. Time, a little bit different, because you know what? This is our life. Now, again, based on what you believe, maybe time isn't that important, but we get to choose how we want to spend our time. And if it feels good to us, then that's the right way to spend it. Can I ever get this same exact minute back? No, I can't. I cannot. You cannot get the couple of minutes you're listening to me back, but hopefully you've benefited and gotten something out of it in exchange for your time. But time is infinite, just like everything else. So I would argue that, does this minute matter? Nope, I cannot change the past. Nope, I cannot go back and change the past. It already happened. I can change my interpretation of the past. I can change what the past means, and that gives me incredible power. Go out, make it an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.